Hi,
Hello,
I'm Julian.
and I am Tom.
We are Team Binge. We are here to talk about Silo, Season 3, Episode 6. This one was called The Drive. And it's called The Drive, Tom, not because there was once a hard drive that was smashed and then put back together with tweezers and glue, but because two people get stuck in a van for a whole episode. And all I can say is that we used to make the drive from Arizona to the Midwest when I was a kid. We used to pull out the back bench seat and just lay down sleeping bags. And I would spend 24 hours on the floor without a seatbelt, maybe with a TV, with a power adapter. And I got to say, Tom, those are the greatest times of my life. So I think Daniel and Helen also had the greatest time of their life. This episode I enjoyed, but very dense, Tom. A lot going on. A lot of interweaving storylines. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I did, because I think, to your point, it was dense. They moved the story along quite a bit. I mean, getting Juliet back with her full-on memory was great. We needed more of this, because now she has more agency. She's, moving things forward. Her talking to the algorithm, I thought, was fascinating, and we'll definitely want to talk through that. And then, obviously, the before time stuff was, single scene, really, right, of them just kind of hanging around in the van. And fun little exciting thing at the end there with Senator Thurman, but we'll get to it.
Sure. Now, as a guy that has a van with blacked out windows and you kind of go through neighborhoods, and I believe it's not necessarily like an ice cream truck, Tom. It's like a van that you have candy in. Are you still doing that? Is that still one of your hobbies?
Correct, yeah. Free candy and free bicycles.
Okay,
so all you got to do is just kind of come up to the van.
Sure.
You have to be under a certain age, and then, free bicycles and candy.
Yeah, on the side of the van it says, Tom's free bikes and candy. Come on, kids. Parents ignore me. That's good. All right. Well, I think it's worth talking about some of the recap stuff just to hit major plot lines. And
it was a big recap.
Yeah, it was a big recap. But essentially, stuff is being stolen from Critical Supply, so that's Billings' mission and what he's working on, as well as Orla's death. We're concerned with that as well. Not just light bulbs. It's not just a light bulb thing. We miss Orla. I pointed at the sky, Tom, and I kissed my hand. I think that's what you do when someone's dead in a TV show. Anyways,
Sure.
Quick shot about radios. Silos have radios. This is going to be something I'm sure Walker's going to have to figure out. Juliet trying to remember the safeguard and how to cap it. We get some vitamin D, Tom. Everyone's going to be super vitamin D'd up after this episode because the vitamin D's are coming. And then
no
obviously
scurvy for this Silo.
No scurvy.
Oh wait, no, that's C. Sorry.
No, that's good. I like that. There should be more scurvy talk in this Silo, if I'm being honest. They're all just living on salt pork and no one knows how to eat a lime, I guess. But then Daniel and Helen are taken in the van, and that's how we spend most of our time with them. But let's dive into it. And I think it is interesting how much a show that has a pretty robust cast is now doing the thing where they're bringing the majority of our main members together to kind of work together. But Camille is on the outside, so everyone else seems to be kind of on the same page and working towards it. And we get the end of the last episode. We had Camille and Sims across that marriage gap of stairs. Well, now we see the stairs are almost finished. Camille gets a little swing set ride down, and these two argue. I'm worried about this marriage, Tom. Are you worried about this marriage?
It's not going great. It's a bit rocky at this point. I do have to comment to your point when she goes down the stairs and they're staring at each other, but she's on this swing. I really wanted her to start getting some momentum and actually swinging back and forth. That'd be a lot of fun.
Kick the legs and smile, Camille. It could be fun. Here's what I'm looking forward to. The way the algorithm plays therapist in this episode, I really hope Camille takes Robert to the algorithm and they just sit down and the algorithm charges them $150 an hour so that they can have their problems aired before the algorithm. But
listen, when we get to that point, I think I know who the algorithm is at this point.
Okay.
Based on that therapy session.
I'd love to hear about it. Ultimately, Robert and Camille discuss how Juliet got away. They argue, and Camille is Camille could not want to give vitamin D to these people quicker. She's like, listen, if we can't find Juliet, I'm dosing them. To quote Tom, no scurvy for this silo. And
Exactly.
she's like, ultimately, go parent our child while I figure this all out. And he's like, all right, cool. The team's back together with Bernard joining them. I guess we saw him getting like moved through the silo on the pulley system by Knox, right? Because he is essentially incapable of walking up and down stairs at this point.
Yeah, that was Knox and Shirley's job, is to move the body of Bernard.
Sure.
He did a great job.
Yeah, doing a great job. And essentially this group meeting is for Juliet to let them know that she remembers. And they're like, what do you remember? And she's like, I'm going to tell you what I remember. And it's that there is a pipe that will murder us all and we can cap it so that we don't all die. And they're like, where is it? And she's like, I definitely forgot that part. Yeah. But I thought it was interesting. We have a conversation of Lucas like remembering the diagram and that there are 2 lines coming in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we got a little bit of that, I think, in the recap, too. So, yeah, the 2 lines that we start to figure out here, that the line from Judicial is essentially the one with the safeguard that they can cap. I don't know how they're going to cap it and what that process is, because I don't think we've ever really learned that, but they'll figure it out. They're mechanical. And then the other one coming from IT is essentially powering the silo, and all that power and the lines and everything is coming from Silo 1, which is also a pretty interesting idea and concept.
Well, I understood it as its backup power for IT because they have their generator, but if it all goes out, IT needs power, so they get some power. I mean, the infrastructure involved in 50 silos and them lasting for 300 years. I'm excited to, I guess, sit down with the EPC company that put this all together and then dropped it into the ground, and what the U.S. government paid for it, because I know that they probably put like 20% on top because it's government work. And it all goes towards the taxpayers. The way you're not reacting to what I just said makes me think the U.S. government didn't build this. So,
listen,
thanks.
It's made in America, buddy. It's made to last.
Made in America. Made to last, which means the components were made overseas and we just assembled it here and slapped Made in America on it.
Assembled in America.
Listen, we're a pro-America podcast, always will. Although the components of us were assembled in the U.S., we were manufactured overseas. All right, Camille shows up and breaks up this party, and they decide that they have to contact Silo 17.
I think this is like Jules' idea, or like her concept is like, we need to get in contact with them because she saw a diagram with Solo, and like that would potentially allow us to figure out how to do this.
Okay,
like,
where the line
I think
is
is
and how to cap it. I got you.
Yeah, because that's the crux of them trying to save the kids and all the other people over there. I think she not only wants to save the kids, but she wants to figure out how to cap the line and Solo and the kids potentially.
Does she really care about those kids? Because this is the first she's mentioned them in 6 episodes. So I don't know that she really cares about those kids. I gotta be honest, I don't think I care about those kids. I don't even remember their names. Were they important? I remember Solo. That's about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Solo, and then what was it?
Go
like
ahead.
Mouth
God,
or
I'm not
feeder?
gonna help you. I don't
remember.
remember any of them.
It was a trivia question. We did a recap, and I already forgot.
It's okay. It's okay. We cut to Billings and Hank. They are on the... I found Billings' behavior throughout this episode strange. Did you find Billings' behavior? I felt like maybe the syndrome didn't go away. Maybe the syndrome might be affecting Billings' brain. What's happening here with him? Everyone, like... I don't know. He seems a little bit unhinged, right?
Yeah, he's turned into a wild card. He's just kind of running around doing his thing. It definitely doesn't seem like the same Billings we had prior. But again, like, I get it to a point. Like, the guy's world has been completely flipped upside down, and everything he's dedicated his life to of the Pact now is like essentially meaningless. So now he's trying to find meaning and solve a mystery or two.
I do appreciate the buddy cop movie that is Hank and Billings running around.
So happy to get them together.
What we did miss is the conversation where they're like, we're going to do good cop, bad cop. And Billings was like, bad cop. And Hanks was like, I guess, sure, man. And then Billings just decides to like yell. And he gets a lot of pushback from people because no one respects him or his badge. But I don't know. It was very, very strange. But ultimately, Billings is talking to Hank, and he's like, listen, we've got to find out who's doing the stealing And Hank is like, and who killed Orla Kent? And he's like,
If we happen
sure.
to figure that out,
Orla
sure.
Kent too. Yeah, that's fine.
It's a little byproduct.
But we got to keep it a secret. So as we go around and question everyone, and Billings shouts at everyone, we got to keep this all a secret, okay?
Keep it a secret. Keep it safe. I'm just happy to see Hank a little bit more involved in this investigation. So I'm here for it. This is a great little buddy cop.
I do enjoy both these actors immensely, and I do like Hank does a great like, hey man, can you calm down face? Like, what's going on here? Let's de-escalate rather than escalate.
Yeah, catch more bees with honey, right?
That's right. Camille shows up, and Juliet's just like, hey, were you looking for me? I've just been down here not doing anything nefarious, certainly not holding secret Lord of the Rings meetings where we decide to take the ring to Mount Doom. Let's talk. I want to talk about everything. We're friends now. That's how Juliet plays it.
I like it was a tease to the opener, the credits, or anything. He's like, I remember everything. That was great. And then they have a fun little chat here.
I wish Camille would have doubled down on that and been like, all right, what was your dad's name? Or like, how did he die? Or like, how do you cap the safeguard? All those things. Where is the safeguard? And she's like, all right, I don't remember everything. All right, so she lets her know, I know about the voice. I want to talk to the voice. Let me ask the voice if I can go to the other silo and save some kids, which she doesn't care about those kids, Tom. I just want to be on record. She does not care.
And she's openly talking about like listening to this voice while there's two of these raiders like right over Camille's back. Like, I mean, these raiders are gone, right? They know too much at this point.
Well, I thought the whole algorithms thing is like, hey, if anyone says anything about the safeguard or like me, that we're just going to torch this place. Like, as soon as this gets out, it seems like a lot of people know about all of this. And the algorithm is not doing a very good job of keeping its promise of blowing smoke into the silo so everyone dies. Come on, algorithm. Be better, know?
Yeah, agreed. I do think, for what it's worth, Juliet cares about these children. She hasn't, like, she just got her memory back in the last episode, so now this is all kind of flooding through. So she knows what to do to save this silo and saving the kids at the same time by getting them back and then figuring out how to cap it, where it is in IT. Like, she can do both.
Sure. Yeah, of course. She was in Silo 17 and she was like, hey, kids, I got to run out to get some cigarettes. I'll be back. And then she never showed up, never went back. I do appreciate Juliet leveraging her like legacy or legend that is formed where she's like, listen, Camille, I can make people do whatever I want. They all think I'm a god. I like when the power goes to Juliet's head and she's like, if I jump off of a railing, they'll all jump off railings, Camille. I really appreciated that. And right on time, the fobs start. I had forgotten about the fobs, Tom, the IT fobs.
Yeah, I think we saw it once or twice in the previous seasons when Bernard had it and it kind of lit up. That was like maybe one of the big teasers and I think the end of season 1. But yeah, good to see the fob coming back and Juliet saying that she's a living founder and the people like worship her is great. Not going to her head at all.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. Does that fob run on batteries?
I don't know. I mean, it just reminded me like a beeper. I feel like it's an old school beeper.
Yeah,
it didn't have a screen
power.
On it.
Does it have one of those like little flat batteries that you never have spares of? Your kid's like, hey, can you replace the batteries on this? And it's like, this is a battery shape and size I've never seen before. Let's get on Amazon and try and figure it out. They don't have Amazon in the silo, Tom. They've got leftover pizza and pizza delivery, but no Amazon, sir.
It is definitely one of those pizza-shaped batteries, and every time one goes out, like in something random I have in the house, I'm like, oh, cool, I've got a couple of those in my drawer, and it's always like a different number or size. It's the worst. It's worse than AAA or AA.
No, the best part about them is you got to buy them in 12s, so you're like, all right, this toy that's got run out of batteries once in, 12 years, I guess I need 12 more of these batteries, and then they just sit in a drawer. All right, that's battery talk with Tom and Julian, both dads who love being dads. We like being dads, right, Tom? That's true?
It's the best. We love our dadship and batteriedness.
You could have said children, I guess, but we like the status more than we like our kids.
Yeah, we have children to become fathers. That's it.
Oh, incredible. They'll probably listen to this someday. All right. Hopefully we're dead and gone. All right. We
They're going to send us out to the other silo.
We love you, children. Billings and Hank, hey, listen, if anyone in this silo should go out and clean, it's Mark. Mark, who builds weapons and is just like one of the most unpleasant individuals in the silo. He's mean to Knox. He's mean to Billings. He's mean to Juliet. This guy, this is why he's so sad that his friends died in the revolution. He only had 2 of them, and I don't think they really liked him all that much. He was only friends with them because they needed weapons. But yeah, this guy, very insulting toward Billings up until, but I do like Billings eventually like playing the game of being like, listen, I'll bargain. I'll give you some names if you let me know what's up. And this is where we find out that Knox has a father, I guess.
Yeah, this was all kind of interesting too, of like, I mean, we have Juliet's dad who, died in dramatic fashion, saving
Daddy
the silo.
Doctor Daddy. Yep.
So now we got Knox Daddy coming into the fray, and I mean, we'll get to it later, but is the dad just dead, really? Like, did we bring him up for really no reason at all? Just to get Knox to the silo or to the mines?
He's alive, and he's part of this whole stealing and whatever. Yeah, he's gonna. Honestly, I thought, is it Harwood? I thought Harwood was gonna be his dad. I thought he was gonna be like, I need to talk to my dad, and Harwood's gonna be like, I am your daddy, and then he like cuts Knox's hands off. I think that's what normally happens when an evil guy reveals he's your dad. He then cuts your hand off.
Yeah, I think they're mining for kyber crystals. I don't know.
Oh, Tom, look at you. What a Star Wars nerd. That's exactly right. Good job. Let's talk about Mark knowing that Billings' wife is part of the outsiders. No one seems to be able to keep a secret in this silo. And maybe that's just true when you put 10,000 people in an underground tube. Everyone knows everything, but that was kind of a strange reveal.
Yeah, I don't Knox obviously had a close relationship with Mark in some form or fashion, and Knox is part of this. He's not necessarily part of the outsiders and what Kennedy is doing, but maybe because of that relationship, Mark keeps his ear to the ground. I don't know. It was an interesting play, but it ultimately is just the reason that Billings, I think, opened up and said he'd give him some raider names, I guess, for some form of vengeance for Mark. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave up, he's given up these raiders names faster than Daniel gave up that congressional badge so that terrorists could attack us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to find out whether or not, a lot of Knox's, as you pointed out, Knox's daddy, I like that term, a lot of Knox's daddy talk in this episode. And honestly, there were some times I was like, all right, show, I got it. Let's move it along. I don't know who is out there rooting for the Shirley and Knox relationship. I don't know. I don't feel a lot of people have been really invested in that relationship. I'm happy for him. Knox is soon going to find out what dadship's all about, as you put it, the joy that we get from it.
He's going to get the badge. Yeah.
I'm a little... well, anyways, we'll get to theirs ultimately, but I'm interested when this was a murder mystery. Am I interested in the stolen goods of it all? I don't know. Was this all from the book, Tom? This stolen goods, something's happening here that we now only have 2 years to live in the silo? Was that a book storyline?
No, and I hate it when you ask me if it's a book thing, because I should probably know, and a better podcaster would have gone back and done some summaries and remember what was in the books to provide some sort of extra eloquent information. But
Tom, you
I
owe
don't
me nothing,
recall...
and you're a great podcaster. The
Thank
best. You. A lot of smart people are saying you're the best.
I don't recall any of this shenanigans going on. I think some of this stuff is new, just to be able to give some of these characters more to do in these sequences.
Sure, that's fair. And I do like Knox and Shirley as characters. I want to point that out. But we are spending an awful lot of time with them when, there's some more important things happening inside of this silo. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Juliet and Camille going to the algorithm? Does Juliet know that she's playing with fire here in terms of this algorithm really wants her dead? And ultimately, I feel like going into this room just gives them a really good excuse to kill her. I know they won't because she's the face of this story and
Yeah.
TV show, but once again, we're all being really loose. We're sinking ships, Tom. Very loose-lipped out here, sinking ships.
We are, yeah. After the rebellion, like everything in the previous seasons. Well, and I would also argue, like, there's been a little bit of stuff like that happened in the previous seasons that are just kind of no big deal anymore. Like the syndrome for
Billings.
Paul,
Yep.
the kind of like putting these IUDs in the women of the silo so they can't have babies, and then all of a sudden Shirley is just pregnant. Like, it just seems like a lot of that stuff that was, and then obviously Bernard and the secrets and everything is just kind of out in the open, and some of the things that were such big plot devices early on are kind of now being tossed aside. And again, I'm okay with it, but I don't really love that world building they kind of created is now just kind of null and void.
Yeah, I guess you could argue that they lost Daddy Doctor, so maybe some of the medical stuff has fallen by the wayside, as well as we are just like 90 days out of a revolution where a bunch of people died. So maybe that turmoil is where a lot of that stuff is. There is kind of the shorthand to your point with Billings, though. He's now being like, I'm rewriting the pact. Like, I make the rules, or like, none of this matters now. This room doesn't exist. So I get your point, but we're living in a different silo this season, you know? Just different all around. And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say what the algorithm does too, of like, if they know they're going to eventually do the vitamin D stuff, then none of this does matter. Like, let the people do whatever the heck they want for these 90 days, 3 months. And then once they pour all the water in, then they put everything like back into place, right? You get a doctor.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And speaking of the algorithm, this is where Juliet makes her case. She's like, I want to go over to Silo 17. I remember everything. There are kids over there, and I want to bring them back because I love kids, and being a parent is awesome, right?
Request denied.
Request denied. And she's like, listen, I'm not a threat to you. I'm not trying to ruin this silo. I'm not trying to, like...
Request denied.
Okay. All right. Listen, hear me out. You have to call them invasive.
Request denied.
I loved... I don't love this, but I loved that the silo was like, those kids are pests. They're going to be invasive. They're just going to want to play on their. They're just going to want to play on their iPads all the time, and eat the snacks that I want to eat, that sort of thing. So
I love that word that the algorithm like chooses, like the idea of like essentially contaminating this silo with somebody from another silo and like an invasive species kind of thing. I thought those were very interesting choice words.
I agree. That was a good choice of words if you're a mean algorithm. Ultimately, she bargains and she's like, listen, let me do it. I'll go back on the drug. We'll drug the kids. We'll drug everyone. Everyone will do drugs, algorithm. Just let me go save those kids. I'll drug them. Just like Tom does when he drives around in his van when he's giving away candy. And that's maybe a worse joke than it should be. So let's move on. We are a podcast for children, but
that's not why we are a podcast for children. Let me just be clear.
These are all jokes. Let's be clear.
Don't come at us.
But this was, I don't know, this was an interesting bargain. But the algorithm ultimately is like playing along but not buying, right?
Yeah, like kind of like I think they're playing each other kind of a thing, and
Sure.
It's like, yeah, how much does the algorithm know here? We find out later that she does, or the algorithm kind of plays her with bringing out both Kennedy and Lucas to clean. So yeah, his question of like, how many children do they have? It's kind of funny,
right? And it's also revealed later that I guess this algorithm is not all knowing of the silos. So somehow in Silo 17. It doesn't know who's still alive. And so I found that a little bit interesting. I also loved, there seemed to be several times where Camille's like, I don't trust Juliet. And all I could think about was, I don't trust you, Phyllis. So Camille's on to her. The algorithm's on to her. We'll see how this all levels out. Walker and Juliet talk. Once again, Juliet's just like, hey, I know things. Would you like to know them? Let me tell you them in your shop, which... could be bugged, could not be bugged. I guess at this point, we can safely say her workshop, even though they didn't remove all the cameras, we can safely say her workshop is a safe place because they don't know about the gathering that happens with everyone earlier in the episode, right?
Correct, yeah. And I do find it interesting, too, when Walker is talking to Juliet about this. Juliet says she listened to the voice, and Walker's, like, very poignant question is, like, is this a person? Is it a machine? And Juliet doesn't necessarily give an answer, but it's interesting that Walker's asking those questions.
Yeah, it did seem like the algorithm in this episode did a lot of, like, thinking pauses, so I don't know if, like, it has to update its software or if there is just a dude or a lady on the other end that's, like, thinking thoughts and making decisions. I guess I don't have any concept of whether or not this is a person or just AI or some other worldly creature. I don't know, Tom. You know, I just don't
Julian,
know.
Guess what?
What?
I do know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and I'm not telling you.
All right. Well, you're the worst, and I don't like
That
this.
is one thing from the book I do remember.
Oh, great. I hope your van breaks down. All right. So they are discussing who to send to 17, and Bernard from the back. I used to have an uncle that when we played Trivial Pursuit, he'd be like laying down in like the back area, and he'd shout an answer, like when we were all stumped. And this is what Bernard's doing. Bernard's just like napping, but giving answers. He's like, you need to send the best engineers. And it took me to beat to realize what an engineer is in this silo. I think of it as a little bit differently, but who is it, Tom? Who are the best?
It's the best around, Knox and Shirley.
Knox and Shirley. And then we go to Knox and Shirley, and Shirley's like, hey, I'm really sad that we could die at any time. And I was like, I don't want to get real with you, bro, but that's true of anyone, anywhere, at all times, even right now in this podcast. It's like,
Correct.
Death comes for us all at very
You
inopportune
can't think
times.
like that, right? Yeah. Knox is like trying to put some sense, like, hey, listen, it's gonna happen. You gotta live for the now.
That's right.
Carpe diem, baby.
Yeah, a lot of therapy going on with this with this team. Billings and Hank show up at maybe the perfect time to have this discussion, and Billings is like, hey man, I want to talk to you about Knox daddy, and Knox is like, I don't want to talk to you about anything ever, and they yell, and there's a lot of testosterone, and maybe they should just calm down. I thought these two were friends. Were these two not friends? Were they not cordial with each other previously, or have they not interacted much?
I can't remember. Like, maybe there was some stuff in the rebellion, you know, like when that happened, that Paul was still kind of on the side of the Bernard and everybody else because he was just kind of ignorant and didn't know. But yeah, I was kind of surprised when they went at each other so hard. And I'm with you. Like, again, this doesn't seem like the Paul Billings we know from previous seasons.
Yeah, bad cop, loose cannon. He's like, He's like, 2 weeks with pay. You're done. The mayor's on my butt. Give me your gun and your badge. You know, he's going to get that whole speech if he's not careful. And there is a mayor, actually. That actually made more sense than when it came out of my brain. So, all right.
I do like that Hank has to bring up the Orla murder again. Because, again, Paul doesn't seem to really care about it. He just wants to find the light bulbs.
And doesn't care about the murder, just wants to find out about the light bulbs. Good phrasing. I do, and we can skip to it later on. I think it is very interesting. Shirley witnesses this. She lets Knox calm down, and then later on they have a very heartfelt where he's telling about his childhood trauma and his dad and everything. All of that for Shirley to be like, listen, thank you for sharing, but you need to go help Paul. There is a murderer. I actually really liked that character move for Shirley and how they did that, because she's like, hey, cool, we've shared our feelings. Now go help find out who's stealing all the light bulbs and who's
get out there,
people.
Tiger. Pats him on the butt when he's out the door. Yeah.
Sends him onto the pitch, you know? Mm-hmm. Walker and Bernard. Now, Tom, I know it doesn't work, but is this the love story we should all be rooting for? These two
Same with Diane.
Seem to be getting along quite well. Bernard discusses Lucky Charms. Is this a gum wrapper? Is that what this is?
Well, it's not the cereal. I guess he does have.
Nice.
Nice. He does have a gum wrapper. I mean, it's definitely a small little bit of tinfoil that looks like a gum wrapper, but yeah, essentially making an origami heart, which my kid has just recently got into origami. So we've got origami swans and star boxes everywhere around our house, but we don't have any hearts, so I got to teach him this one.
Nice. Teach him how to make a crane. I was a little bit afraid because we are cutting back and forth to inside the van in the silo, although we're not talking about it right now. I was afraid that Daniel was going to offer Helen like a piece of gum. I was worried that everything was going to come back to the relationship between Helen and Daniel, and maybe it will, but I got a little bit scared. But anyways, these two seem to be making up because they were definitely at odds in other seasons. I'm glad to see them getting along. There is that funny line where Walker's like, oh, Carla made a joke where if I liked women and you liked people, we'd make a good couple. I thought that was a fun line.
That was good. Yeah, and it's fun. Like I said, I love both these actors together. They chew up these scenes really well. And yeah, I guess they're just old souls that understand each other to a point, even though Walker really does tell him straight to his face, like, I still hate your guts.
Sure. But in a nice way, in a nice way.
Yeah.
We have Knox, Shirley, and Juliet all discussing who's going to go over to Silo 17, and Knox is like, nope, Shirley can't go. He is not an ally, Tom. That's what I've discovered during this whole conversation. But ultimately, it's because they're going to have a baby. There's going to be a baby. Yay.
This was great. What a fun little reveal here. Congratulations to the two. I mean, like you kind of said it earlier, I'm not sold on this relationship. I just don't think these actors are great, I think, individually, but their relationship and chemistry on screen, I don't think is fantastic. I think the pregnancy thing definitely caught me off guard. I didn't know that they were going to do it. But once this happened, it made me think about, I think earlier in the season, at one point, Shirley does like clock one of those like IUD things, whatever they're using to kind of block pregnancy for women.
Okay.
And I don't know if she saw that like in maybe like the nurse's station or when they went to like the like doctor's office or something. But I remember clocking that at the time. I didn't bring it up, but I like that kind of potential call off or payout here with her kind of being pregnant. And maybe she figured out how to take hers out, or again, I don't know what the rules are anymore, but yeah, great little showism.
Sure. Yeah, no, I like it. Listen, I don't want either of these two to die. I do think this raises the stakes on these characters. In other seasons of Silo, characters would die all the time. This one, we, kind of have our core group, and I'm a little bit afraid of who they're going to, for emotional stakes, kill off. And this honestly makes me fearful for both Knox and Shirley because of the emotional stakes. But I also think it's interesting that by the end of this, it doesn't sound like these two are going to go to Silo 17, although I'm not real sure what the algorithm's plan is. So maybe they are going to go. But they're definitely not both going to die, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, once they kind of did this, and like Knox essentially turns to Shirley like, promise me you'll never die. Very much like a Team America style. But yeah, I kind of had the same thought. Like, okay, they're setting up these characters for some sort of dramatic death, but it doesn't seem like that's happening.
Maybe.
At least yet.
We'll see.
Still time.
Speaking of slow and painful deaths, let's go to Sim's family dinner time, Tom. This looked like a family meeting I am familiar with. We find out that Anthony stole some things at school. What did he steal?
I can't remember what he stole. Like credits, I guess. When I found out there was a kid that was in trouble at school. At first, I thought it was like Public Enemy lyrics of Ted Lasso, which we are also podcasting on now. So if you were watching Ted Lasso season 4, definitely check that out. But no, it was not Public Enemy poetry. It was him stealing credits, not taking responsibility. Just a bad kid, this guy.
Yeah, wrong. And it turns out, in this silo, if you do a bad thing twice, you get expelled and sent to supply. Even though you're, 9 years old, they get them working young up in this silo, which I guess makes sense. It's probably a privilege to be educated, and you only are educated if you show promise in providing something for the silo. But I did.
Listen, it worked out well for Juliet, right? She went down.
That's true.
She was going to be with her dad or whatever, or doing she was constantly tinkering. She went down to supply, made friends with Walker, no, Walker was technically, what is hers? It's not mechanical, it's not supply, it's something in between.
Yeah, recycling, right? Something
There
like
you
that.
go.
She
Recycling.
repairs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ultimately, I like when Common's like, listen, I'm, head of judicial, you're head of IT. I don't
He's
think
fine.
they can touch us. Like the kids,
Yeah.
the kid's fine. Like, in fact, I threw the teacher over the balcony. Like, we're going to be okay. We're going to get a new teacher. This, of course, as most family dinners and family meetings do, leads to an argument where
Guilt trip.
yeah, listen, I don't like to get in between marriages. I tend to
No.
stay out of other people's and just honestly, I'm barely involved in mine. But I side with Common here. I think Camille is a little bit off the rails, and she is overwhelmed. I understand what's happening with being the head of IT. It's very stressful.
Burning on the inside,
But
man.
I don't feel like she is taking very good care of the home front, or at least giving it some sort of priority. I know she's got a lot on her plate, but I'm with Common on this one. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. When he even kind of tells her, like, hey, if you feel guilt, that's not my fault. Like, that's on you. And, even her kind of coming in here, she doesn't, have a conversation with her son. All she does is yell at the son for this family meeting, send him to his room, and that's kind of it. So she's kind of not essentially a presence in this family anymore, it seems.
It feels like you have not attended the same family meetings that I have attended, Tom, because that's how they go. You get yelled at, and then you get sent to your room. And once again, there's probably some crying. I do appreciate where they're like, listen, we're not really fighting about Anthony, are we? And she's like, no, we are not. We are fighting about bigger things. And she's like, listen, I know what you've been doing. You need to stop going behind my back. Otherwise, I'm going to take you down. This is like Neil Macaulay and Al Pacino in Heat, man. These two are like, I'm not going back to prison. I'm taking you down. I thought this was, once again, this is also how family meetings can end, with threatening each other's lives.
Yep. Gonna give him some vitamin D, get him off that scurvy.
Some vitamin D. That would be interesting if you could just be like, you get into a fight and you're like, I give them vitamin D and they forget the fight, and then maybe everything's okay. I think I'm on board with memory loss drugs, Tom. That's what I'm discovering in this moment. Camille then goes and visits the algorithm. Is the algorithm not omnipresent? She's like, hey, the algorithm doesn't answer immediately. And I don't feel like they've shown us this in other episodes, right?
No, I think they are definitely kind of playing on some things about the algorithm not being there when she asks.
What things would you
hesitating,
think
to
they
your
were
point.
playing on, Tom, if you could conjecture about those things?
I would love to conjecture, but unfortunately, I have some insider information because I am a well-read individual. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it's anything too wildly.
Well, let me guess at it then, so that you can't get in trouble. My assumption is that this is not just a computer program that is omnipresent and always there. That there is actually someone on the end of that voice that is human, that has to think, that has to respond, and I guess be on 24 hours alert. Maybe they were heating up pizza in the microwave when she showed up, and she's like, "Are you there?" So that's what I'm going to conjecture at it, but we'll see where it all goes. She's like, listen, Mr. Algorithm, who's definitely a person or some otherworldly being, this Juliet mission's a mistake. She's a threat. I don't trust her. I don't trust her or Phyllis. And the algorithm, honestly, I think the algorithm in a past life was definitely a spouse of some kind, because the algorithm's like, listen, I don't want to fight. Let's all calm down. Although you never use the term, why don't you calm down, or let's calm down. It always goes poorly. But I did like that the algorithm is like, hey, listen, baby, I don't want to fight. Everything's going to be okay, you know?
Well, listen, like I said, I think I figured out based on this scene who the algorithm is, and I'm pretty sure it's Dr. Sharon from Ted Lasso.
Okay, the therapist from Ted Lasso. You think that's who it is? That would make sense. She gives Camille a great speech about hey, you're not failing. It's a difficult job, and you were chosen. You know?
Yeah, I like how he's like, "What, thoughts aren't facts." That's just great. That's just great therapy stuff right there. I do feel for Camille in this, because she doesn't seem to have anybody to confide in, because of the rocky relationship she has with Robert. She's saying essentially that she's just failing in everything, both as a head of IT, as a wife, as a mother. It's brutal, and I definitely feel bad for her, even though she wants to have everybody in the silo forget everything.
Sure. I guess this is the romantic relationship that I'm rooting for. Camille and the algorithm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People are more commonly falling in love with AI things or people these days. So who am I to judge? You know, I hope these two crazy kids are happy together. Although it is going to break up a marriage, and we are staunchly pro-marriage till death in this on this podcast. So now I'm conflicted, Tom. I don't know what's happening. All right, let's go to Billings and Hank. They go into the camera. So this camera room's still around, and I believe they say level 19 is what this
19.
one's on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So quite a bit of a trek. I don't know where they were previously, but yeah, 19's pretty high up there.
Oh yeah, much like Game of Thrones, they're yachting their travel time. Like
jetpacks.
If it takes porters 6 hours to get a body downstairs, then maybe we're not humping it up to 19. Like, anyways.
Oh, I got questions about how long these 2 barrels of vitamin D have been yanked up these stairs, because this has been 7 episodes or 6 episodes of this thing going upstairs.
Yeah, that's true. I like to think they were stored somewhere, and then now that the order has been given, they just brought this 1 barrel down. But
yeah,
all right. This all happened very fast, and I'd like to dissect it a little bit. So Billings is screaming at this woman, enhance, and he seems to be losing it a little bit more and more as he's looking at these TV screens. But we ultimately see, right before the gassing of the mines, where we found Orla's body, Glenda Harwood is walking into the mines.
Yeah,
and then, for seemingly no reason, Billings is like, show me 10 floors down, show me supply. He's just like shouting things, and it's like, hey, there, man, let's calm down and do this like slow and steady. These are recordings, so we can spend some time with them. But
she's very efficient. She's like hit like 3 keys on the keyboard and boom, right there.
Yeah, she crunched the numbers. She crunched, and then she hit enhance, and it made it all. And then ultimately we see Glenda is all in supply like within 10 minutes. And from the way they react, I guess it's not a 10-minute walk, despite the fact that Hank and Billings are getting everywhere pretty quickly in this episode. But what happened here? Like, my spouse, who's smarter than me, was like, okay, so is there an alternate? She's like, is there a secret elevator? Is there an ultimate way for them to get from the mines to supply? Obviously, does this come into play with the stolen goods? Is that what we're supposed to? Like, was that the whole point of this?
I think so. I mean, we know the mines are like digging all around the place and generally going vertically, so I don't think it's that much of a leap to say that they have dug the mines down specifically to supply, whether they have an elevator or pulley system. It seems like the mines are kind of almost like unpoliced, unsheriffed. They're kind of doing their own thing because it's like quote unquote too dangerous, based off of what our boy Ed Harwood is saying to everybody.
Yeah. Although I would argue, based on his speech to like the new inmates, they're probably mostly dying because he's terrible at like OSHA and like safety briefs, I guess, would be my comment. I think this is mostly on him.
I don't know. I was pretty motivated, man. I don't think I would die at that point.
You were ready to dig. You were ready to get in there and dig. Yeah. Throw on your old hard hat.
I yearn for the mines.
You do. Like most children. All right. Let's go to Juliet and Camille. They have an argument about whether or not it can be Knox and Shirley. And Camille is like, no, not going to be Knox and Shirley. Pick someone else. And ultimately, Juliet's like, well, I'm going to send Lucas and Kennedy, which Camille is then surprised that they are, I guess, either alive or she knows where they're at, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because Juliet hasn't divulged such information yet. So, yeah, definitely throws Camille off. But yeah, I think the line's kind of interesting of like, if you're considering that you want them dead, like you're not going to tell anybody and you're going to want essentially them to go out because you've got nothing to lose with both of them going out.
Right.
Win-win.
In fact, it would do you a favor if they went out and just died, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are we still making suits? Are we still making the good tape, Tom? Are we going to yada yada? Do we know that anyone that we send to Silo 17 is going to make it? I guess. Again,
I would say we're still in this like 3-month gap where they're not vitamin D'ing everybody. So like the more I talk that out, like I'm kind of okay with it. And we have seen like Sims wearing those like red suits, those quarantine style ones. Maybe those are outside certified as well. So as long as they're using the right tape, I think they would be okay. But again, like what the algorithm is saying, it does sound like, okay, they're not going to make it kind of a thing. So again, are they going to give them bad tape or I don't know, cut off one of the toes in the suit. I don't know.
Yeah, smart. That's the last place someone would look. I was like, hey, why is the suit missing? Why is the suit only got 9 toe holes, you know? All right. We already talked about it, but this is the scene where Knox gets to, I don't know, win his daytime Emmy by talking about his dad. I felt like this took too long. I was like, hey, we got a lot going on, show. We're almost an hour long. Great. He had a bad dad. Like, let's...
Good mom, bad dad, moving on. And yeah, dad was bad, stole a bunch of stuff, spent more times in the mines. Like, it just seemed odd for them to, like, push all this stuff on, like, Knox having a dad when none of this was kind of hinted at in previous episodes, or previous seasons. Like, it's just seemed tacked on.
Right. It did seem tagged on. And at no point
but who do you
was
think?
I
do have to ask though. Who do you think is going to be Knox's dad? I mean, he's already a silver fox
Jeff
in
Goldblum.
his own right.
Jeff
Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum. Okay.
I think Jeff Goldblum's going to show up, or The Rock. I guess Dwayne Johnson. He's big enough to be Knox's dad, probably. I just listen. Once again, I liked Shirley being like, "Hey, thanks for sharing. Go help Billings." But yeah, to your point, this took way too long, and I was afraid they were going to do the thing where Knox is going to be like, "Listen, I had a bad dad, and I'm going to be the best dad to that little kid that we're about to have." But to their credit, they didn't do that. But they will. They will eventually.
They will.
All right. Camille orders the vitamin D. She's like, let's do this. She's like, as soon as I took this job, I wanted to pour vitamin D in the water. I'm super excited.
Yep. And again, finally hold all these things upstairs. And I do like in this like sequence where we as an audience see her essentially start this process, and then when the algorithm says later, okay, yes, we got to do the vitamin D, she's like, hey buddy, I'm 2 steps ahead of you. I did it 2 hours ago.
2 steps ahead of you. She's like, also, I opened up the safeguard, so I've got that covered too, friend. We're all good. All right, we already talked about it, but quick cut of Harwood talking to the inmates or the new miners. He's terrible, and Knox's dad is dead. Knox's dad is not dead. We are going to meet Knox's dad. I truly believe. I didn't like him being like, grab a shovel, who's been dead 2 years. I was like, that's a weird way to sell someone that their dad died, you know?
Yeah,
but
something Paul Billings would say.
Exactly. Yeah. Billings and Harwood have the same bedside manner. That's a good point. A really good point. All right, let's wrap it up with Camille and Juliet back at the algorithm. And Juliet pulls a little switcheroo here. Now that she's in the room, she's like, I'm sending Knox and Shirley. And the algorithm's like, nope, that's a bad idea. Which I kind of agree with the algorithm. Shirley and Knox seem pretty important, right?
Yeah, request denied. I was impressed about the percentages that both Knox and Shirley got. 34% if they were to leave. I mean, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Great for them.
Yeah. They're doing a great job, you know, grinding down the blades on that generator, the turbine, or whatever it was that they did. And they're doing a great job running that swing set that takes people up and down. Juliet's like, all right, pivot. I'd like to send out Lucas and Kennedy, and they can go die. And the algorithm's like, this isn't going to be weird or suspicious. Send them out the first thing at dawn. You're like, pretty sure that's how you execute someone? Or like, I don't know, have a shootout? It's like tomorrow at dawn, right?
Oh, I laughed out loud when the algorithm said tomorrow at dawn. Yes, I think they're going to head out of the silo. They're both going to have their cleaning wipes. They're going to walk 10 paces, turn, and clean the camera. It was funny.
Yeah. They're definitely going to their deaths. But Camille starts to complain to the algorithm before Juliet's made it out the door, and the algorithm's like, hey, cool.
Hey,
One sec. Yeah. And then it's like the door closes, and the algorithm's like, they're not going to make it to 17. Dun, dun, dun. Vitamin D time.
Juliet, yeah, she requires apparently special handling. So, the algorithm is, I guess now they're on the same page. Algorithm wants to murder these 2 people, and Camille's putting the vitamin D. All is right with the silo now.
I love the idea of him being like, Juliet requires special handling right over the railing. Go throw her. Like, that's all
husband.
they really need to do. You know, they're dancing around. They killed so many people that were inconvenient to them in season 1 and 2. I don't know. Juliet's
if you're
just
gonna
a
vitamin
survivor.
D everybody, like, yeah, what does it matter? Like, you could do all sorts of shenanigans and then just have everybody drink their Propel and you're good to go.
Is this something where they like to wake up the next day and they don't remember everything? I'm very curious. How do they like really get this memory drug to work? Because it seems like, does everyone just like get groggy and forget how to button their shirt? Like, it's gonna be a weird couple of days, I guess, with the vitamin D. But they're pouring it in.
Yeah, I don't get how it works. I guess they got to turn off the osmosis. I like how we got some science talk from Camille there.
But the filtration, because otherwise the filtration system will filter out the vitamin D. And that guy folded so quickly. He's like, that's an insane request. And she like looked at him and he's like, okay, sounds good. I'll murder everyone. I hope this isn't poison.
You. She'll just give some extra vitamin D to that dude. It's essentially like the Men in Black red light thingy.
Yeah, she's like, swallow this pill right now and then do what I tell you. All right, let's go to the
Job
before
do in
times.
Arrested Development where he forces a pill down Michael's
he
throat?
tries to force, that's what I was thinking about. Forget-me-nots. Yeah. Anyways, Arrested Development. Number 1 all time. My oldest is asking when he can watch Arrested Development, and we're getting dangerously close to when I'm just gonna. I've become so much more lax. I'm like, yeah, sure. I think you guys are fine. And then the younger one's just there. She's like, I guess I'm watching too. So, all right, let's go to the before times. We're still stuck in the back of this Toyota van, right?
Yeah, it's not a Honda CR-V a la Ted Lasso. It's just a regular old minivan.
Kidnapped in the van, and I was a little bit afraid that we were going to go to the back of the van in order for some romance to happen, but I'm glad the show didn't jump to that. But the one comment that was made while they're talking about their situation and just like what happened was she brings up Stenson, who is the like AI, I'm assuming like kind of an Elon Musk type, right? And then she points out that he's also like an AI alarmist, like he's afraid that AI can be hacked. So is this guy both the like creator of AI, but as well as a guy that thinks in the wrong hands, or if like used poorly, it can go bad? Did you catch that? Is that something that was real?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting observation because, like, sure, Helen in the situation also kind of comments that like this is essentially kind of what happened to Charlotte of the tech getting kind of taken over and everything else. So yeah, I would imagine we're going to probably get more with Stenson, and it's interesting to see Senator Thurman kind of back in the mix too, because I think we had thoughts that she would be more involved in whatever shenanigans is kind of going on, and it seems like this kind of old white dude that we've kind of talked about is working for her. And I'm excited to see how that story unfolds.
Sure. I think the idea of someone creating something and that thing turning on its creator and like causing issues, I think that's an interesting. I wonder if there are any stories about that anyone's ever written before or been in any movies. I think that's an interesting thing to explore. Yeah. What'd you think about? First off, I'm just gonna say this: these two are terrible at getting out of this van. They're like, he cuts his hand, they give up so easily. Like, and all the things they try never would have been something I tried. Like waving down another car at night. Who's gonna stop in this day and age? Like. It seems like a road rage incident's about to happen. I did not care. I felt like these two crazy kids wanted to be in this van together as long as possible.
I mean, Helen did have that Pez, right?
Yeah, very sweet moment. I love that Daniel really is reading into that. As much as this woman has told him no, it was not a date, Daniel is really holding on. And honestly, the way she bandaged up his hand, I think sent a lot of mixed signals to him, even though she just bandaged him like a normal person would. I don't know. I thought I guess the hand thing was supposed to show their closeness developing, as well as be like, listen, they tried and he cut his hand, so they had to quit in terms of shutting down the vehicle. They were just very bad at this.
They weren't great. I mean, like, the only other thing, I don't know how you do it, but, like, you get the vehicle with no more gas, right? If you break the gas line somehow. Like, I don't know if that's the thing, but that was the only thing I
don't want
could
to be
think of.
stuck in a van with you either. I think that was maybe a worse idea. You want it, Tom? You're stuck in a van traveling at high speed. You want to pull the fuel line so it's just dumping fuel inside that van? Are you insane?
Just gonna stop eventually.
Julian Tom died in an inferno in the back of a minivan. That's how we go. Think of our children, Tom. Anyways, I wanted more from these two, especially because they seem to be capable in all other aspects of their lives. I did appreciate them discussing, like, hey, who's going to be missing you in this time? And both of them were like, no one cares about us. I have no friends. I thought that was sad for both of them.
Well, and it's like, of the friends, I guess, well, I mean, he is a congressman, so people are going to eventually know that he is gone or kidnapped, but to his point, it's like he's a freshman congressman, and people aren't going to find that out for potentially a couple of days. But it was a bit heart-wrenching to hear from, like, Helen. She's like, I just got fired from my job, so nobody from there is coming. I'm a bad friend. We know she broke up with that previous guy in the house that she stayed in, so... Yeah, she, for whatever, like, she seems like she's a good person and tried to do right by her source in this kind of upcoming storyline here. But yeah, sad. She's in a sad space.
I didn't feel bad. She said, I'm a bad friend. I don't call people back. So, maybe, Helen, we evaluate that and change that, Answer a text message. People that don't answer text messages drive me up a wall. It's not that.
She needs to talk to. She needs to talk to the algorithm.
She needs to talk to Dr. Sharon.
Therapy.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
She needs to be a goldfish. Something like that. Also, they should both be wearing seatbelts. They're like flying 70 miles. They don't know who's in charge of this thing. They're just sitting in the back. They should definitely be wearing seatbelts. Not that I did not that my parents made me when I was a kid, but. They definitely should. Tom, do you remember when it was like your parents were like, oh, if you're in the back seat, you don't have to wear a seatbelt? Do you remember having that conversation as a kid?
I'm quite certain, yeah. Like, if you went like a long road trip from like here to California, I would go to like soccer tournaments and stuff like that. And yeah, we would watch movies on like a VHS player back there. And if we weren't doing that, we were unseat belted, just lying down in the back seat.
Right. Like, insane. But we're still here, for a little while longer, at least. Daniel brings up the journalistic fraud comment. He's like, hey, sorry about that. And wouldn't you know it, Tom, we find out that Helen is a good person and that she took the dive for someone else. She had to protect a source, and so her whole career being destroyed was because she is such a good person. And I was like, all right, Shell, I got it. She's a bad friend, but she's a good person, and she's great at her job. Thank you. I appreciate it.
She's a great journalist. And I think she said she failed. The person's name was Jillian. I thought it was Julian at first. And I'm like, oh, man, that would have been great. If you were the source.
Jillian with a G, according to the subtitles. All of this for the police escort to show up and escort them with the old white dude who still doesn't have a name. If he does, I haven't caught it. I never wrote it down. So we're just going to call him old white dude. And they get delivered. I really appreciated. They're in the van. They try the door handle. They can't get out. He stares at them for a really long time. And then it's almost like he wanted the door to pop, but they were having technical issues. And then eventually they got it figured out. And these guys get out and they're at a plane hangar.
Yeah, I was going to say before you get to the plane, like, he needed everybody else to leave. Like, because the escort couldn't know who these people were or whatever else. So I think that's why there was the hesitation.
I assumed he had to find the key fob on the ground that she threw out the window. And I did like that conversation. She's like, if we get far enough away, it'll shut it down. And Daniel's like, so if your kid throws it out the door, your car's just going to shut down? I was like, all right, these two aren't going to make it. Plane hangar. Senator Thurman shows up. Here's what I did not like about this. The thumbnail for this episode was the Senator Thurman standing in front of a plane at the hangar. Like, Apple, don't do that. Don't show us the end of the episode in the thumbnail. That makes no sense. So I was not surprised by this at all. I waited for it, and then it happened. What I was surprised by is her being like, Helen and Daniel, how would you like to help save the world? Dun, dun, dun. Tom, it's aliens. It's got to be aliens. It's aliens, right? I haven't read the book, but it's aliens, right? Tell me I'm right. It's aliens.
I can neither confirm nor deny whether it's aliens.
Definitely aliens. I don't know how many times you heard me say otherworldly creature in this, but it's definitely aliens. So, anyways, I like this. It gives us stakes, and I appreciate them at least hinting that they're going to forward the big picture a little bit farther, maybe in the next episode, you know?
Well, and again, as opposed to them just like constantly on the run, like that's not necessarily that fun. So now seeing them essentially join the inner circle here with Senator Thurman, excited to see how this all folds out. Because again, I think the Thurman stuff from the books is fascinating and super cool. And I'm glad that this character is now back on screen.
Sure. No, I enjoyed it. Very dense. We have gone too long. So, Tom, unless you have any parting thoughts, I'd like us to go into Audience Corner. And for those of you that are joining us, right now we're doubling up. We've got Ted Lasso Season 4 going, as well as Silo Season 3. We would encourage you to join us for both. Lasso, if you haven't watched it, is just a very fun, great show, and we really enjoyed them coming back in that first episode for Season 4. You can reach us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com, and that's where, in the Audience Quarter, we read the emails. We got one from John, an old friend of the pod. He's back with us for Lasso. It was good to hear from John. And then, Tom, I think you have a review or two, correct?
We did. We had somebody leave us a recent 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us that 5 stars and throw us a comment, we will read it on pod. And we can't thank Danielle enough for this very kind review. The subject line was fun family meeting. And the comment was, I could listen to these guys read the phone book, which you're in luck because we are getting ready to start a phone book reading podcast. Tom and Julian read the book.
Tom and Julian read the book. A lot of religious circles were like super excited, and then we had to inform them different book. This one's
Aaron
just the phone
A.
book.
Aronson. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
And then the phone
But
number.
thank you so much, Danielle. That was such a kind thing to say. Thank you for taking a couple minutes to do that.
Danielle, we both got a great laugh out of the fun family meeting. So yes. we do appreciate that. So as Tom mentioned, on Apple Podcasts, write a review, give us 5 stars. If you listen on other platforms like Spotify, hit the follow button, as well as you can leave 5 stars there. We really appreciate it. Tom handles the other socials. I have spent some time on Reddit hanging out with people, so you can find us there. Our name is Team Binge there. Reddit is a wonderful place full of wonderful people, and I really enjoyed my time there. Tom, what are the other socials?
Yeah, follow us on socials at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast. Let us know what you think of this episode and kind of where we're going. We're 6 episodes in. We got 4 more, and I think things are really starting to heat up, and I'm very, very excited for the conclusion here.
Sure. And the last thing we want to mention is we've gotten a ton of emails about people trying peanut butter and pickle sandwiches, just rave reviews all around. We're going to gather a lot of those emails before we start, reading them. We may do a separate pod on peanut butter and pickle sandwiches where we just eat them on air and then talk about them. So continue to send those in. But Tom, it was a good one. And for Team Binge, I have been Julian.
And I have been Tom. Until next week, y'all.